Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to the 5A. Now, I've already done a video about this tank a couple of months ago, titled The Worst Tier 10, so you kind of know where this is going. But because it is still in the shop for the next 4 days, it is better time to maybe make a video about it again, and not make you have a wrong decision in the next 4 days. So, I'd say, let's have a look at the stats first, and then let's play this thing. Now, here we go, looking at Blitz stars, and the first thing you can already see is that the DPM is relatively garbage, whereas the Chieftain or the 113 or also the Object 260 have a lot higher DPM. I mean, the alpha damage is 460, but here the IS-7 has the same and only has 20 less DPM, so basically the same. Then with the weapon handling, the aim time dispersion, it is significantly worse than that of the Chieftain, and slightly worse than that of the 260 and the 113, for example. And the gun depression, obviously the Chieftain has 10, the WZ only has 7, which is decent enough, but it's somewhere in the middle between meh and still meh. So there is that. And the mobility seems to be very fast, 50 kilometers an hour, but the power to weight ratio isn't that great. The IS-7 has pretty much better raw power to weight ratio, slightly lower effective power to weight ratio, and the traverse speed of the Object and the Chieftain is a lot better. So there is that again, so nothing outstanding, nothing interesting about this vehicle. And now, here where it gets really bad, and that is the armor. Now, while the turret is relatively strong, the hull doesn't have any armor whatsoever. The Chieftain seems to have less armor on paper, but it is more well armored. The IS-7 has obviously more armor. You know, the turret is also impenetrable. The raw numbers here don't really mean much. So basically, the turret has decent armor, but it has massive cupolas on top, which can be penned relatively easily. So, congratulations, 5A. You suck. And with that said, and with this tank having nothing outstanding, and as you could already see at the bottom, that it's the worst performing in that list, I think let's play some battles. Now, why is this tank the worst tier 10 in the game, and why is that E100 a average E100 player? That is going the wrong side of the map. Now, the question and the answer is relatively simple. It's just not good at anything. It can't do anything good. It can't block damage. It's not that mobile for what it could be. It doesn't have DPM, and it doesn't have armor either. The front plate is paper, basically. There is no armor there whatsoever, so it can be penetrated very easily. So overall, you don't have the DPM to fight medium tanks. You don't have the armor to fight heavy tanks. You don't have the mobility to chase medium tanks or hunt down tank destroyers, or you don't have the alpha damage to fight tank destroyers, and you don't have anything, really. And you also can't go hull down because you only have 7 degrees of gun depression and massive cupolas. That can be penned relatively easy. So, yeah, that's why. So, anyway, the enemy team is bad, which is great for us. They have gone to the wrong side of the map, which you definitely shouldn't do unless you want to lose. If you want to lose, you should always go city. If you don't want to lose, then you might want to go to the good side of the map, which tends to be the field. Okay. E5. Now, this can still work quite well, right? Can play well, but it most of the time doesn't. And that is a sad thing. It also, what makes this tank also that bad is it's a premium tank. You have to pay for this. You know, if this were a tech tree tank, that would be somewhat fine because, hey, you can somewhat get it for free. You shouldn't be getting it then, but you could still be getting it for free. But now in this one, you have to pay for it. You basically have to pay for a disadvantage, which is a bit weird, but who would pay for a disadvantage? I mean, you could get the Object 260 instead, which equally doesn't have any armor, but at least it has 2,900 DPM, so it can do that at least. This one can't do that. Now, sure, you have the 40 more alpha damage, but to be fair, I'd rather have 400 DPM than 40 alpha damage. It's that simple, I think. Okay, now, still 2,800 damage, because if you do get left alone like this, then obviously, you don't get shot at, you don't need the armor. However, if you do get shot at, you get a problem. Side scraping works medium well because of the somewhat pike nose at the front, so you can still be penned through the front plate if you try to peek. However, if you're hiding like this, then you can use the armor somewhat effectively. If not, then too bad, it don't work. Okay, now, Grill is gonna die to 100. who surprisingly actually did something. No, he didn't actually. New Hunter's not doing anything, but I mean, he went city, so I'm not surprised. Okay, now 268, last target. Come on. Nope. This is not a Russian tank. You also do not get the Russian bias RNG. So, it's even worse, yo. That's even worse. But anyway, as you can see, it was a good game. A bad tank. 5 kills. There we go. And so we get into the second one. Now, obviously, 4,600 damage isn't really a great argument for this tank being horrible. Then again, if you look back at the game, I was simply ignored the entire time. No one was actually fighting me, so I could just sit there and farm damage for free. And that's how you do well in a bad tank, you know? When you're just a good player and you just outplay the enemy. That way you can also make a horrible tank quick. Why would you spend money on this? This is overall a War's IS-7 and nothing else. There is only downsides to the IS-7. It has less armor. And the same stats. The rest is the same. Why would you spend money to downgrade? Why would you spend money to downgrade an IS-7? Which is a very good tank, if you like that. And then it is a very good tank, but why would you downgrade? With money as well. It's just a full downgrade. There is no bonuses, no... It has better mobility and it has a better... It doesn't. No. I mean, it has heat pen, which is a bit more, but it doesn't really change much. Obviously, with the absolutely non-existent armor on this thing, it doesn't really make it worth it. Hello there. You also don't have enough gun depression to peek that spot, for example. Which is bad. Small raccoon. Nice one. Also, I can be penned right through the front here. If he does aim, that is. But yeah, you have to peek quite far to get a shot here, which is obviously not great when you're fighting a 183, so... Nope, that doesn't work. Yup. There we go. That's some damage. If you get shot at, you get penned. That's how this tank works, you know? You can't expect to bounce shots with the front. It's just, you're gonna get penned. Unless the enemy is really bad at aiming, you're gonna get penned. Or unless you get very lucky, you're gonna get penned. But the same is true for a Leopard, so... There is that. Obviously, Leopard has significantly less thickness, but the effectiveness is about the same. Okay. Shoot the back. Yeah. Now, the one way to get bounces is to present the looking away angle of the plate nose, and then obviously that increases the angle enough to be able to generate ricochets. You know, you get shot from here, bounces, high angle, boom, gone. That's about how it works. But that is obviously unlikely, and if the enemy can aim, which, I mean, the most can't, but you're not me either, then it's not going to go well. And why would you want to spend money to downgrade? I wouldn't spend money to downgrade, and that is why I think this is the worst tier 10 in Blitz, because there's nothing outstanding about it. There is nothing that makes it special, and you have to pay money for a downgrade. And that's why it's the worst tier 10 in the game. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you for the next one. Goodbye.